would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you wanna cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, I'm running on style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Blues! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Apologies for the background noise, viewers. Goodness me, we are on a nostalgic high today. Look at this, a 1997 Vauxhall Astra Mark III 1.6 LS e-drive. I think it's an e-drive anyway. That's what I've been told by some information I looked up. Also, this car doesn't have the correct rear lights, not the correct front indicators. It's been made to look older than it is. On a facelifted Mark III like this, or Astra F as they're sometimes known, they would have had smoked rear lights by this stage. These cars are getting rare, I suppose, now. They're not expensive or anything. This car cost £700 earlier this year, so they're not expensive by any means, but they are getting rare. One of the main reasons is sort of rust. This car has been a bit welded at some point. Yeah, there's a little bit of weld down there, but it's pretty good overall. It's only done 72,000 miles. Have a look in the boot. This isn't the first one I've driven. I've driven a couple of others on the channel before, but I was off of this one, and it's so nice, this car, that I just couldn't refuse. Boot's actually quite big for the time. I reckon this is over 300 litres, and if you wanted more space, you could either get a saloon or you could get the estate as well. So, you know, that's all fine. Let's pull this boot carpet up. There we go. Yes, a proper alloy spare wheel. Fantastic. Let's get that carpet tucked under there. There we go. Very, very clean condition, this car. Obviously, it has had some welding in the past, but apart from that, pretty good. I prefer the facelifted ones to the pre-facelift ones, but the thing is about the pre-facelift ones, some of them came with some nice, powerful engines, whereas this one, it's a 1.6, which only got 74 horsepower, which is utterly ridiculous. But actually, there was a 1.4 made at the same time, where you could get 89 horsepower. I think it's because it's the e-drive model. I'm not really sure why, apart from that. They're the same sort of fundamental engine, I think. They want the Family 1 engine in these. So yeah, we'll take a look at the bonnet. But first of all, I just need to point out a couple of details on this car, which I'm sure a lot of you will find very nostalgic. So, unfortunately, in this car, we've not got the classic Corsa B electric mirror switch, but we have got the good old Mark III Cavalier indicator and wiper stalk, which we used in things like Lloyd for years, and then that 5-speed manual gearbox that lots of Vauxhalls use, which is a bit floppy, but just the way that they were. Right, so we'll look under the bonnet then. Look at this, viewers. Here we go. Look at that rocker cover. So many of you will just recognise this. Introduced in the early 80s for Family 1 and Family 2 engines, were the mainstay of Vauxhall's range, and Opel of course as well, for so many years. Look at how easy this is to work on. Look at how you can see everything. This car has just had the cam belt done, and it's had a head gasket. That's really common on these now, these engines, for blown head gaskets. It wasn't so common back in the day, but because these cars are just so old now, it's now getting common for the head gaskets to blow. Obviously, doing a timing belt on this, apparently it's like a £200 job to do a timing belt on this, which is crazy. But yeah, fantastic engines, Family 1, Family 2s, and of course these used both. But an absolutely superb little car. I'm not sure particularly if I would have changed these indicator lenses myself. I'm a bit of a stickler for originality, but you know, it's fine. It's a very reversible change if that's what you want to do. But there we go. Absolutely fantastic. Such clean condition, this car. Anyway, let's have a look at the interior. One of the things I like about these is how practical they are. I mean, this is just this normal 5-door, and yet it's got loads of headroom in it. Tons of headroom. No problem. Probably move my seat a little bit forward actually, but apart from that, it's pretty good. There's plenty of space in here for the average family, I would have thought. Also, these seats got cutouts in them, so it's not the most comfortable car, but the size of it, it's not bad. It's even got rear door bins in it. You've got height adjustable rear seat belts. We've got proper head restraints in here. Mitch, who owns this car, sometimes carries children in it, and so we've got a little booster cushion in here. Only got windy windows in the back. I mean, you probably want like a CDX or something like that, which would be my choice, with a nice leather interior and electric rear windows and air conditioning. But we have got a manual sunroof, so all is right with the world. No map seat pockets on here, which is a bit of a shame. You think back in the 90s, they were actually for maps. So you can want to do like a GLS or a CDX or something like that. Radio's mounted in a weird place where you can't really see the display very well when you're driving. I think that's probably off the Corsa B, that sort of idea, and that had I think a display that was a little bit higher in the dash than one of these. But yeah, you've even got space in there for the umbrella underneath the glove box. All modern conveniences, and also a reminder that you should have paid extra for the CDX, and then you would have got electric rear windows, because we've got manual windows and a little blanking plate there, just to remind you that you should know your place in the trim hierarchy. Right, let's get in the front, shall we, Liz? I'm actually surprised that this LS model does have electric windows and a rev counter. I'm sure some of the early ones didn't have that, but there we go. Yeah, there's a little funny thing in here to put things there. That's the display, by the way. So before things like this, you can't see it very well, particularly from when you're driving. But there we go. It's a unique fit system, I think, this as well, because you can see we haven't got a display on the actual thing itself. No air conditioning, manual sunroof, of course. Do we have an ashtray? Yes, it's actually got a little button there to access the ashtray and the 12-volt socket or cigarette lighter, if you used to know them back in the day. 5-speed manual. These gearboxes are a little bit on the floppy side. They're also used in courses, so they're not the best. They're nothing in comparison to, say, like, I don't know, a Mark IV Fiesta gearbox, for example. They're not that good, but they're okay. This dates from a period when Vauxhall and Opel were the absolute kings of the castle in terms of the UK and European market. They outsold Ford at the time. It was utterly ridiculous. It was such popular cars, these. Yeah, the Astra and the Corsa were amongst the most popular of all, and of course the Cavalier and Vectra. So yeah, the dashboard actually has a little bit of give to it. I think that's actually got a bit of soft touch to it, which is nice. Very, very 90s interior fabric. Look at this. If that doesn't make you feel nostalgic, I don't know what will. Possibly the light switch here and the fog lamp switches. They've actually got front fogs on this LS as well. I'd like some electric mirrors, please, but never mind. Big old steering wheel, huge steering wheel in this car, and I don't think you can adjust it either. I think that's just the way it comes. Yeah, that's the way it comes. So there we are. Apart from that, there's not a lot else to say. We'll have a look at the glove box and see if I can get the secret mission documents in there. My feeling is I won't be able to, but I will try. No, hopeless. Got some cup holders in there though, and a little clip thing for, I don't know, is that little cards that you sort of, yeah, little cards, little business cards you give out to people for the age of sort of, I don't know, sending everything on WhatsApp. Very electric window switches there. They look like they're out of a Cavalier. They probably are, to be honest. Yeah, not much else to say really. Why don't we go out for a little run? I'm not going to touch this manual sunroof. I'm going to just show you that it's manual, because I don't want to break it. So quite a number of engines for the Mark III Astra. Starting off with the 1.4 high torque engine, which had 59 horsepower and is extremely slow. Better was the 1.4 81 horsepower, which was known as the SI engine. So you'd have a GLS, a 1.4 SI rebadged as, and then GLS on the side. Later, the 1.4 got increased to 74 horsepower or 89 horsepower, driven at 89 horsepower, and it was quite quick. But we have the 1.6s. Now, there were quite a few of these. You get one with 99 horsepower. You get one like this with 74 horsepower, but the early ones, early e-drive, this is also an e-drive, was 70 horsepower. When we get up to the 1.8, you could get 89, 113 or 123 brake horsepower with those. And the 2 litres, you could get, again, 113 brake horsepower. They're both family 2s, I think, the 1.8s and 2 litres. So 113, you could also get 134 brake horsepower, 2 litre engines. And top of the range, in this country at least, was the 148 brake horsepower GSI. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We do talk about instead is actually the way that this car is perfectly pleasant to drive. You can get over this sloppy gear change, but actually this car pulls okay. I know it's only the 74 horsepower version. I've driven the 99 horsepower 1.6, which was I think in 2022. As far as I remember, the 1.4 I drove was definitely 2022. For the town use, and obviously the gearing will be quite long on this, so you probably get a reasonable economy. Ride is okay, it's sort of average really. The steering is, it's not the best it's not as good as a Focus. I mean, the Focus obviously was a slightly newer car than this, but you can see why so many people thought that was a bit of revelation. I must get an Astra G in my channel. I've almost managed to get an Astra G. We just couldn't work out logistics at the last minute when I was going to film it, but we will get an Astra G on my channel as well for you, so we can compare this with one of those. But yeah, the 0 to 60 is about, I think, 13 seconds in this. It's very comfortable actually. I prefer a CDX with a leather interior myself, but you can't always have such things in life, can we? You could though get a cabrio version. We've had one of those on the channel as well. I've driven a cabrio, Bertone cabrio, like a baked bean colour, which was interesting. Then the saloon and the estate, and obviously the 3-door you can get as well. So something for everyone, really, in a Mark III Astra, and that's why they sold so well. I think they were in like top 3 best-selling cars for quite some time in the 1990s. And yeah, you don't have to really get used to this, unless it's a merit of sort of no power steering, which would be a bit of a problem. It just feels like a very modern car to drive. The main thing you notice is, apart from the body roll, is the airiness inside here, particularly the sunroof, and it's really nice. You know, I have considered buying one of these for myself actually, because they're so easy to work on and they're cheap to find parts for, and they're cheap to service, and that's why so many people bought them back in the day as well, was because, you know, you could find parts everywhere, and also they were not expensive cars to run. These days they are getting rare. Like, you know, this car has had a bit of welding done and things like that, but they're just not that expensive. I mean, I prefer a saloon as well myself. I like the saloons. They're very rare, but I'm a sort of saloon kind of person, so that'll be good. Although this has been pretty nice. I can see why a lot of you might really like one of these, just to drive around as like an older daily car, which is actually what Mitch, who owned his car, has been doing. And his grandfather owned a lot of these, and he then used to have many in his early driving career, and I understand that. For me, that's Maestros actually, but you know, for many of you, one of these would be exactly what, you know, your father, your uncle, your grandfather, or your grandmother, or your sister, or whoever had, and it's just one of these cars that are everywhere, and now they're not, and that's a shame. But that's the sort of thing we like to help out with in no budget reviews. Let's now look at some Astra F or Mark III trim levels views. So we had the merited bottom of the range in the L, and then the LS for GLS, for CD, CDX, SI, SRI, GSI and the Sport, loads and loads of them, but also the Duo, the Expression, the California, the Arctic 1, the Arctic 2, the Arizona, the Premier, the Cesaro, the Montana, the Diamond, the Swing, the Atlas and the Pacific. So many trim levels. What are the common faults with these cars? Well, I've looked into this from some old information I have. And apparently the rear suspension is the problem, the front suspension could be a problem, anything like drop links and curbing damage, which would be common. Clutch cables can be a problem, electric windows can be a problem, these are fine. Cam belts, yeah. These need new cam belts at about 35,000 miles, which is crazy, but they're not very difficult to do. Head gaskets absolutely do fail, this one has been changed. The 16 valve engines, they can stick. The handbrakes, they can have problems with rear drum brakes. I think this has got rear drum brakes, this car, so that's something to look out for. So viewers, should you consider an Astra Mark III for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? I don't see why not. This is probably one of the most sensible kind of modern classics you can buy. The parts availability is good. They're quite simple to work on. You know, they're quite comfortable. The gearboxes aren't necessarily the best, but they never were. But actually, if you want a nostalgia hit in a reasonably practical kind of package, then one of these for under £1,000, bear in mind this car was £700, is probably quite a good option. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again very shortly for some more inexpensive motoring.